Hello and welcome back to Creative Cat. Making your own essential craft supplies is very easy and very affordable. Today's video is compilation of some of my homemade craft supply videos. You must have seen them already. So I thought it is a good idea to keep them together so it will be easier for you to refer them later. They all are still available separately in detail on my channel. So if you want to check them, you can check them out. For example, if you can check for texture paste, I have shared 4 different homemade recipes as well as their comparison on my main video, which I'm not including here. So if you want all the recipes in detail with their tips and tricks, then please refer to the main videos. I'm giving you link of all the videos in description box below. All the craft supplies I'm showing today are really easy to make. You will need only 3 ingredients like glue, paint and plaster of Paris or baby powder. Combining these 3 ingredients in different combinations and different proportions, you can make all these craft supplies. So let's make our own homemade craft supplies. Mod Podge or Decoupage glue. You will need white glue. You can use any Elmer's, Fevicol or any wood glue. Take 1 part of glue in a container. Add 1 part of water. Give a nice shake to the container. And your homemade Mod Podge is ready. These are some projects where I use this homemade Mod Podge for decoupage. Now I'll show you how I make my own gesso. So you will need baby powder or plaster of Paris. You can take any of these. I prefer plaster of Paris, so I'm taking 2 parts of plaster of Paris and you will need glue. I'll mix 1 part of white glue and then you will need white acrylic paint. Mix 1 part of white acrylic paint. Mix it nicely to make a smooth paste. Store it in a airtight container. To make black gesso, just add black paint instead of white. You can add little water to adjust the thickness. I'll show you how nicely it covers the surface. This is on cardboard. I prefer this thick consistency, but you can add water to adjust it. Next is texture paste. Add plaster of Paris and glue in same ratio. You can also use baby powder instead of plaster of Paris. Let's see how it works. Here are some projects I made using this kind of homemade texture paste, and they come out really nicely. Let's make chalk paints. You will need plaster of Paris or baby powder or calcium carbonate. Take 1 tablespoon of base powder. I'm using plaster of Paris. Then you will need acrylic or latex paint. I'm taking 2 tablespoons of paint. Mix them nicely. Add little water to adjust the consistency. And that's your chalk paint. Use different colors instead of white paint to make different shades. Like here I use this paint. Let's see the coverage. Nice and thick, covers really well. Here are some projects I made using homemade chalk paints. Next is 3D outliners. Make a cone using plastic bag. You will need baby powder, and white glue. Mix it nicely. I'm not giving exact measurements here. You will need to achieve toothpaste-like consistency. For white, use white directly. For different colors, I mix food coloring with the white paste. You can also use acrylic paints. I'm using food colors because they are highly concentrated, so you will get bright shades with small amount of color. You can use liquid food colors, gel, or even powder food colors. If using acrylic paints, use the thick ones, artist quality. Now fill the paste in cone. And lock the cone with tape. Make more colors. You can close used cone using tape like this to store and use it later. I made this video almost 6 months back, and some of the cones I'm still using. Just store them in airtight bag or container. They easily stay good for 6 months or even more. Try to mix your paste really smooth without any lumps, and do not keep it open in open air, so you will get smooth lines like this. You can see they work really nicely. Now let's make glass paints. You will need clear glue, and food coloring. Mix them together as per brightness you want. You can simply call it a colored glue, but it does give you the same effect like glass paints, and as we are using glue, they are water based, so use varnish to fix the paint. You can make many shades by color mixing, even if you have primary colors. Let's see how they work. So make outline with 3D outliner. Simply use these paints like normal paints with brush. And see, aren't they look same as glass paints? These are the projects where I use these glass paints.